Praise the Lord, everyone. Thank you for tuning in with Dr. Leisha, the preacher. So today, this is a very quick message before I go to church, okay? For some reason, I just felt led to talk real quickly about Zachariah and Elizabeth, John the Baptist's parents in the Bible. Later, I'm gonna, do a little more research on them because they're a very interesting couple, a very interesting married couple. And I've been led to research married couples in the Bible. I love marriage. I love married couples. And I love the married stories in the Bible, the stories on marriage, because it talks about, what married people got to do to make it, to make it. And so I just want to point out how Zachariah and Elizabeth, they were an older couple. And he was a priest who worked pretty much, at the church. He was a priest at the church. And they were an older couple and they had no children. Okay. But the angel of the Lord came to them to let them know that God has chose them to have a child. And Zachariah, initially, he was stunned. Like, who, us? We gonna have a child? We're older. So for whatever reason, in this situation, he doubted what the angel was saying. So the angel took his speech away. So he was unable to talk for a while. Well, obviously, he didn't need to talk to make a baby because he and his wife got pregnant. But the reason why I'm sharing this story real quick is that Zachariah, he was a priest in the church. But at an appointed time in their marriage, he listened to his wife. He backed her up. He backed up his wife. And let me read the scripture that says it. Hold on, let me see. Okay, so they didn't have the baby now. And now it's time to name the baby. Okay, so Zachariah, am I saying his name right? Zachariah, or is it Zacharias? Let me look at Zacharias. Okay, so Zacharias and Elizabeth has had the baby. Okay, so we're looking at Luke chapter 1, verse 58. And her neighbors and her cousins heard how the Lord had showed great mercy upon her, and they rejoiced with her. Okay, so she had the baby. And it came to pass that on the 8th day they came to circumcise the child, and they called him Zacharias after the name of his father. Okay, so at first they was going to name the baby Zacharias after his dad. That's a wonderful traditional thing to do, to name your child, your son, after his father. Have a junior. I even did that, I wasn't sure if I wanted to name my son after his dad, my husband. I wasn't sure initially, but after after it was obvious, then I went on and went with my husband's name. I just wanted to make sure that my husband was going to be committed to this child before I gave him his name. Because there's nothing worse than having a junior and senior is off doing whatever. You don't know how committed senior is to his junior, So anyway, that's deep. But, and his mother answered and said, not so. Elizabeth said, no, don't name him Zacharias. And he shall be called John. So her husband was a priest at the church. He didn't have a voice at the time, okay? He didn't have a voice at the time the angel had taken it away. So verse 61, and they said unto her, there is none of thy kindred that is called by this name. So there's no one in your family that's called John. Where are you getting this name? John, where's that coming from? You know, this is unusual here. And they made signs to his father, Zacharias, because remember, he couldn't talk, so they made signs to him like, is this okay? She want to name the baby John. Is this okay? And they made signs to his father how he would have him called. And he asked for a writing table, and wrote saying his name is John. He backed up his wife. He said, if my wife say his name is John, then that's his name, John. Okay? Listen to what my wife say. And they marveled all. Everyone was marveled. Like, you know, I mean, something like that. Of course a husband should back up his wife. Naming a child that she gave birth to? Yes, back her up on that. So there are things that husbands need to back up their wife on. When she say some shit, when she do some shit, you back her up. Period. You back her up. It don't matter what the people say. It don't matter what the people think. That's your wife. Back your wife up. Back her up. And that's what I just, no matter how powerful you are, how high up you are, And see, she was barren. So in their community, he high up and she kind of low on a totem pole. You know what I mean? She don't have no kids and she old. So she really don't have a lot of value in the community. But he up here working in the church, But at the end of the day, so basically people didn't need to respect Elizabeth. They didn't feel like they need to respect her because she was so, low. No children. And he was up here. But at the end of the day, when put to the test, no matter how low his wife was, and no matter how high he esteemed he was, at the end of the day, when the people came and tested their marriage, tested his loyalty to his wife, to test to see how much he loved her, how much he valued her, how he viewed her, how he respected her, when it came down to it, he backed her up. He backed her up. Yes. There's nothing more beautiful than when a husband back up his wife. When you know the world is up against her, you have her back. Those people didn't even need to ask him nothing. That's her baby. I mean, it's Zacharias' baby too. But she just delivered. She can pick a name. But again, Zacharias is one of them kind of husbands, who serve the Lord and also honor his wife and back her up. No matter how the other people treated her. They disrespected her. She just had this baby. She told y'all what the baby name is. And then they gonna look over at him. What is that about? People will disrespect your wife. People do not have the best view of your wife, you know? So they marveled all, and his mouth was opened immediately, and his tongue loosed, and he spake and praised God. Men, when you honor your wife, God will bless you. When you back your wife up, when you have her back, God will bless you. That's all I got to say. So I'm just going to keep this video short like I promised. I got to get ready to go to church. I'm so excited. Gonna go to church. You know, it's been some years. It's been like 15 years, I think it's been, since I've been in church. You know, like a member of a church. Now, I'm not joining any churches today. I haven't, you know, I'm not ready to join anything. But I am looking really hard because it's been 15 years since I've been a consistent churchgoer. And this has been a horrible 15 years of my life. I don't know why God did that to me. I'm a churchaholic person. You know, back in the day, you know, before these 15 years of prison, you know, being out of church is like prison for me, because I love church. I'm one of them church. I want a church. I want to pastor a church. You know what I'm saying? So to actually not be in one for 15 years is horrible. It almost killed my soul, my spirit. It almost killed my spirit, you know. But I had to raise a family. You know, I was put in a position where I had to choose either serve the Lord or raise a family. So kids got to have a mother, a husband got to have a wife, you know. So I had to do the family thing first, you know. I did. I'm not going to say had to. I chose to raise a family instead of pursue my calling and purpose in God. And I'm just thankful that I'm still alive. Because when you disobey God, I disobeyed God for like 15 years. And when you in disobedience of God, your life is, you know, it's like quicksand. Your life is like quicksand. You know, when you disobey God, you don't know what you're opening yourself up to. In my case, you know, I was a monogamous, traditional Christian woman, wife, well-trained and conditioned in that lifestyle. Very trained and conditioned. I was a good Christian wife and mother type of person. Okay? And once I disobeyed God, just like Zacharias, the angel of the Lord took his voice away. And he didn't give it back to him until after the job was done with his wife. And see, Zacharias, he could have messed up and said, oh no, I want that baby to be called Zacharias after me. You know what I'm saying? He could have been like, oh no, you know, that he gonna be named after me. I'm his daddy. But no, he backed up his wife. He said, that baby is John. I can't even speak, but that baby gonna be John, because that's what she want. Because whosoever findeth a wife, if you find a wife, there's lots of women in the world. Everybody's a woman. Thank God. But when you, among all these women, if you can find one wife out of all these women, you are blessed. And when you have a woman who has a vision of the Lord in her mind, burning in her soul and in her heart, a woman that is sold out for God, well then, like Elizabeth here, She was old. She didn't care. She like, I'm having this baby. He gonna be John. You know what I'm saying? You know, when you sold out for God, you know. But again, I don't want to stretch this longer. I just want to thank God for this story in the Bible about a mature couple and how they, under the, weird conditions, being barren, that had to be hard, during that time. And even during this time that we live in now, when a man marry you, he wants you to have a baby. It don't matter if you have a career. It don't matter what your degrees are. It don't matter. If a man marry you, he want a baby. And you're going to have to sacrifice whatever you got to sacrifice to get that man a baby, or he is not going to love you. He's not going to honor you, respect you, none of that. Now, are there some men who treat women well, even when they don't have kids? Yeah, of course. Of course. But for the most part, when a man want a child, you better give him one. And if you don't, he will throw you under the bus. And you can still give a man a child, and he'll still throw you under the bus. You can give a man a child, and he'll still throw your ass under the bus. But if you don't give him one, oh my God. But men, when you give a man a child, like Elizabeth did, the angel of the Lord came to her and everything, and she gave her husband a child. And I don't know if he had been praying for one, because in verse 12, and when Zacharias saw him, the angel of the Lord, he was troubled, and fear fell upon him. But the angel of the Lord said unto him, Fear not, Zacharias, for thy prayer is heard. So Zacharias had been praying for a child. When a man wants a child, you have to give him one. You have to give him one. I don't know if his wife knew he was praying for a child, and I'm sure she wanted one too, But for thy prayer is heard, and thy wife Elizabeth shall bear thee a son, and thou shalt call his name John. So really, he shared the vision with his wife, and when he couldn't speak, Elizabeth had his back. She had his back first and said, we're going to name him John, because she knew what the angel of the Lord had told Zacharias. So she had his back, by remembering what the angel of the Lord told them and the baby's name. So when the time came, she named that baby John. And because of the people in their life, family and friends, whatever, doubted her or didn't value her or didn't honor her or whatever, her husband was able to write down John, had his back. So I just want to point out, as I close this out, that when God speaks to either the husband or the wife, it can be either one, but in this case, God came to Zacharias. It don't matter which spouse God come to. You both are responsible for carrying it out. See how God, the angel of the Lord, came to Zacharias? But the plan of the Lord included Zacharias' wife. I hear married couples say, well, her spiritual life is hers and my spiritual life is mine, and it's different, and what God has for her is for her, and what God has for me is for me. Whatever God do in her life, whatever God do in my life spiritually, when you married, it's a joint venture. Ain't no God got her over here and God got me over here doing different calling and purposes. No. When it comes to married couples, God got you working together. He didn't say, Zacharias, you gonna have a baby. Zacharias could not have a baby without Elizabeth, his wife. That's a joint venture. The Lord didn't come to Zacharias and hand him a baby from heaven, because it's meant for you, Zacharias, to have a baby, but not Elizabeth. You know what I mean? That don't make no sense. The angel come and drop a baby to the husband, give him a baby, and don't get a wife a baby. No, because he's married, Zacharias had a wife. When it was time for Zacharias to have a baby, guess what? It was time for that wife to have a baby too. You know? So I don't believe that God worked individually with married people. Hell to the no. If you married, he wants y'all working together in the ministry. That's just me. I could be wrong. There's plenty of married people out there. They go to separate churches and all of that. Well, over the past 15 years, I refuse to go to a separate church from my husband, because I believe that married people should go to church together. And if a married couple is at the point where they're going to separate churches in the Lord, it must be over. It must be over. You know, and if you stay together, you're staying together as though two heads, you know, live under one roof. It's like two heads, because you got two different pastors. You listening to two different people. This is getting ridiculous. My candle was too big. My candle was too big. It's like on fire or something. I'm gonna have to this is crazy, especially on camera. I'm gonna finish let it doing what it's doing, but it's safe. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and cut off the video because I do want to take care of this. This candle is out of control. Hold on, I can put it out like that. I'll deal with it. But let me go ahead and cut off the camera. Please click like, subscribe, and donate to my channel. $, Dr. Alicia the Preacher. Thank you. Be blessed. And back your wife up. And wives, keep on backing up your husband. We always do. Wives, we tend to back up our husbands. The husbands need to back us up more, especially when it comes in the face of family and friends. Because why would they question her like that? But he had her back. That's what's up, Zacharias. Bye.